They used the strychnine to cut the heroin.
Yes, in about 10 more minutes you would have lost the boy.
That little kid is holding on to life with more heart than body weight. He deserves better.
We call him Baby Mike.
I want murder. Murder one. They killed the mother. Claxton tried to kill the baby. What do you want?
Satisfaction.
Emma, you're not quite so large an impediment in my life as you think.
Is that a euphemism or a compulsion?
Never ceases to frustrate me. We're living in an age when man can travel to the moon, yet it's almost impossible for him to get from the Upper West Side to the Village. I had no intention of giving up until I got where I wanted to go, but my car decided differently. My first instinct was to put it out of its misery, but I didn't want to waste the bullet. Excuse me. Is there a garage around here? Thanks, pal. Sorry I asked. Taxi! Hold it! Taxi! The nearest hospital!
Nurse Clark, pick up line 4.
Excuse me, lady, I need a doctor for this baby.
I don't know.
Fill this out, please.
Lady, the sign out there says emergency. I've got one.
Say. Code Blue Pediatrics. What's your name?
Hammer.
Admitted, Miss Pearson, Code Blue.
Code Blue Pediatrics, Code Blue. Code Blue, room 205. Hammer, that's with 2 M's, I assume. 205.
Yeah, 1H.
Code Fill out, please. Warm. 205.
Velda, are you still there? Velda.
Mike, how much money are you talking about?
I need $75 for the emergency room and a $500 deposit.
500? Ugh. That's gonna strain my plastic. When do you need it?
As soon as you can get here.
Right.
Where did you find the baby?
I need you, Mr. Hammer.
I'll tell you when I see you. I gotta run.
His blood type is O negative. Don't worry, whole blood exchange on a child is not a big deal today. Your son has a pretty good chance if we move fast.
My son? He's not my son.
His hematology shows strychnine toxicosis.
Strychnine?
Now, if the heroin level isn't too high, we can flush him before there's any damage to the central nervous system. Draw me 400 cc's.
A tiny newborn life, a miracle. This one was struggling with every breath to survive. And I couldn't help remembering that somebody had left that miracle in a trash can to die.
Dr. Geller, Dr. Cooper's back.
Think he's gonna make it?
Touch and go. But I've seen worse. Here, this is yours, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
It's been autoclaved.
What's that mean?
Cleaned.
Too bad it wasn't pressed.
Mr. Hammer, I can understand your reluctance, but you've got to bring your wife in immediately.
I don't have a wife, and I'm not his father.
This is not the first druggy newborn I've cleaned out. He is 4.5 pounds of muscle, instinct, and fight, and he's got a chance, but there was a mother on the other side of the placenta. Now, if she's carrying the same load of strychnine that put him in that shape...
They used the strychnine to cut the heroin.
Yes, in about 10 more minutes, you would have lost the boy. Now, taking into consideration the mother's body weight, we have probably an hour to get her in here.
His mother's dying.
Give me a name, an address. I will call an ambulance.
All right, call the police. Ask for Captain Pat Chambers. Tell him to bring a warrant and meet me in the alley at 103rd and 2nd Avenue.
What kind of warrant?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, now you know the drill. We're looking for a Jane Doe. This woman just had a baby. Probably one of these shooting galleries around here. God knows in this neighborhood there's enough of them. Now show your IDs. We don't start any riots. Matthews down that corner. Work your way up. Harrison around the corner. You two check over here. All right. I got men working house to house. You got any ideas?
Yeah, I got an idea right up here.
Okay. I ducked a lady for the years. It's pretty swift. Before Verity could say go through channel, she had warrants in triplicate through the health department.
She's a bright lady.
Matthews, we're talking 1147. I want backups. Hey, where are you going? Let's go with the backups. Yeah, Captain Chambers, NYPD. We have a search warrant.
Hey, not so fast, Jack. Gonna cost you $10 to get by me. 5 for the room, 5 for the bag.
Well, I only have 8. 7 in the clip and 1 in the chamber. Now, I say that gets me past you. What do you say?
I say no problem.
I'm looking for the girl that had the baby.
Yeah. Okay.
She's dead. Want me to bring the car around?
Bulletproof, make a move, man.
He's the one. I want him.
Read him his rights. Cuff him.
Come on. Yes, sir. Up there.
Up against the wall. Pop!
All right, spread out. Let's go. Right
Keep
there.
high.
That's it. Okay, come on. Come on. Don't turn around there. That's your cheek on that wall. All right, come on. Move it. Move it.
What you
doing?
What's in there?
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's private.
Better get the rest of these jerks to the hospital. See if they're shooting the same poison. All right, I'm trying to wake you up. Get up against the wall!
She had been pretty and young and alive. Then came pills, poppers, blow, crack, smack. And now her arms were marked with a needle track road to death. Such a waste.
Okay, last one. Sign these. We see Claxton. We'll both go home.
Where's the important one?
What are you talking about, Mike, huh? We got resisting assault, assault with intent, 2 counts, common assault, trafficking, hey, 3 counts. Come here. Drug possession, unregistered weapons. What do you want from me?
I want murder. Murder 1. They killed the mother. Claxton tried to kill the baby.
I don't see no murder.
Yeah, then you need glasses.
We got intent, abandoning an infinite. Any homicide's gonna have to spin out of the DA's office.
Claxton, come here. Cigarette?
Okay.
Mike! What are you doing, huh? Keep this crap up. I'm gonna throw you in there with him.
I'd love that.
With you anyway, huh?
What's Barrington doing here?
That's the one here.
Mike, pick a fight on your own turf. I've already invested 7 hours in overtime. I used to have a family, remember?
Yeah, listen, say hello to Linda and Bobby for me, will you?
Oh, yeah. Well, if I recognize him.
For you, okay? Come on!
She's concerning publicity.
Hammer.
Hello, Larry. Going to a birthday party?
Hammer, Joe Atamian.
Mr. Hammer, Mr. Barrington has told me all the help that you gave the police in trying to save Veronica.
That's Veronica Burnett. Joe has just confirmed identification.
Well, I'm glad to hear the lady had a friend. She could have used one earlier.
I don't think you realize we're talking about the daughter of George Winston Burnett. I'm sure you can appreciate the sensitivity of our situation.
If Mr. Burnett is the grandfather, the question is, who's the father?
We're working on that.
I'll make a note.
I'm sure that Mr. Burnett will want to speak to you.
Yeah, I'd like to see him.
We'll be in touch with you.
In the meantime, you can call Dr. Ellen Bosnowski at the Manhattan General Hospital. She's taking care of the boy.
Mike, Veronica was Mr. Burnett's favorite this tragic time. I'm sure the baby will be a great comfort to him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I hope he takes better care of his grandson than he did his daughter. Yeah.
Well, good morning to you, too. Before I go off duty, I thought you'd like to know that your baby's status has been upgraded from critical to stable. Serious, but stable.
Well, that's good news, but I told you he's not my baby.
Well, it's your blood he's running on.
Well, I'm sure he'd thank you if he could. Listen, what are you doing for dinner tonight?
Eating.
Where do I find you?
614 Bleecker, apartment B.
What time?
Say about 7, all right?
Hey, I never argue with my doctor. Dr. Vosnowski was a very special kind of doctor. I didn't think they made them like that anymore. The baby was lucky to have her around, and so was I. Still, nothing could wipe my mind clear of the woman who gave birth to this child. How did she live? Why did she die? Where was the baby's father? I was long on questions, but short on answers. What's on the tube?
Reruns. I'm filing away your old cases. There's a gentleman in a uniform to see you in there.
New York's finest?
Not that kind of uniform. It's too bad you lost the mother.
We didn't lose her. She was murdered. Hello.
Peters, sir. Mr. George Burnett sends his felicitations and requests you to join him.
Now or at my convenience?
Mr. Burnett's not a patient man.
Neither am I.
We could leave now.
Well, what's keeping us?
After you, sir.
Northampton, Long Island is where God spends the summer if he doesn't have time for Newport. Flowers grow through cracks in the city sidewalks. An hour away, the old money has backyards big enough to fit Central Park in.
Mr. Hammer, I'm Amanda Burnett.
Hello.
My husband's waiting for you in the study. I've seen that look before.
I take it you're not the first Mrs. Burnett.
Number 3. George can afford it.
He has good taste.
Thank you. But a word of caution about my husband. He won't shake hands.
Does he have something contagious?
Don't take it personally. He avoids all physical contact whenever possible.
Must make it awkward for you.
I have my compensations.
I'm sure you do.
You'll have 5 minutes, no more.
Hope I can fit it into my schedule. Thanks.
Mike, come in. Mr. Burnett, this is Mike Hammer.
I understand you're the gentleman who discovered Veronica.
Yes, sir. I found your daughter.
She's not my daughter. As of some 5 months, she turned her back on me. Everything I did for her.
Mr. Burnett, I found your daughter's body shot full of heroin and strychnine. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
I don't want to hear about it.
Why not?
Vengeance is an expensive commodity, Mr. Hammer. Veronica chose the slime heap she was living in.
But your grandson didn't. That little kid is holding on to life with more heart than body weight. He deserves better.
He deserves nothing from me. I disowned Veronica. Her child, if indeed it is hers, means nothing to me.
Well, Mr. Burnett, you're obviously not bucking for father to be here, so why did you call me out here?
I don't like publicity, Mr. Hammer. But I warn you, I don't negotiate. I look at a man, I know his price.
You're right, I've got a price. Make the check out to Manhattan General Hospital.
Mike, wait. I apologize for that. Mr. Burnett, you have to realize that Veronica hurt him pretty bad. She was his favorite. He worshipped her. She just disappointed him, that's all.
Please, you're breaking my heart.
Mike, you have to understand that...
Do I?
Excuse me. Are you the detective?
Yeah, Mike Hammer.
I'm Lisa Burnett. I hope my father was more generous to you than he was to my sister.
No question. But that mourning a loved one always brings out the best in people.
Don't take everything at face value, fellow. The tennis was my idea, not Lisa's. Vigorous exercise relieves depression.
Why aren't you smiling?
You don't work at being a likable person.
It's a flaw in my personality.
Did Veronica have a child?
Not according to your father.
I hope you don't judge me by my father.
No, I don't.
Joe said it was a boy.
Let him go, Lisa. He's not interested.
Kenny, shut up. We're not married yet. Is there a baby?
Yes, there is. You can see for yourself. Call Manhattan General for visiting hours. It looked as though Amanda Burnett's chauffeur was interested in more than keeping both hands on the wheel. But it was getting late, and I had my own interests.
You're early. I can't tolerate promptness.
Well, just pretend I'm a patient in your waiting room.
Well, I'm afraid you wouldn't pass the physical. Thank you. I'll check this in with the wine steward.
It's a nice place. Reminds me a little bit of my own.
Oh, sorry.
Who's the man in the picture with the horse?
Oh, that's my grandfather. Polish cavalry.
Really?
Horses have been my family's weakness. My father still teaches at a riding school out on Long Island.
I'm surprised you didn't wind up as a vet.
Oh, no, I love babies. All shapes and sizes. When I have time to breathe, I'm gonna have 4 or 5 of them of my own.
That's a lot of heavy breathing.
Mm-hmm.
We had planned to visit the hospital and come back to her place to finish the evening. Unfortunately, even the best laid plans sometimes get laid aside.
All through.
Hey, my client's looking pretty good.
6 months term. We got a fighting chance. Sad he lost his mother, but it could have been worse.
How could it have been worse?
Well, you know all those other druggies the police ran through here? If they had been shooting the same stuff, we could have had a catastrophe.
Wait a minute. Nobody else from the shooting gallery had strychnine in their system?
No, thank God.
This little guy and his mother were the only ones?
And that menagerie, the way they passed their stash around, do you think it was deliberate?
I think it was murder. Look, I'm sorry. I gotta run. Oh. This should cover his expenses. Poor kid. He doesn't even have a name.
We call him Baby Mike.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Mike, I can't hold every street muscle in the city. Tony Caudell's lawyer just blew in here with enough habeas corpus to spring Jack the Ripper.
Tony Caudell, who's he?
Not a he, a she.
What's her specialty?
She's a slumlord. She owns that block we're in. I could cut through some of her paper circus. I could cut down half the shooting galleries on the east side.
Where do I find her?
She's got a bowling alley, 53rd and Leicester.
Thanks.
Hey, listen, keep it to strikes and spares, huh?
Excuse me. You know where I can find Tony Caudell? I was surprised to find Tony Caudell talking to Kenny Sanderson, the kid with the mouth who'd been playing tennis at the Burnett estate. It was clear he wasn't there because of the tennis or the bowling.
Give me the board. Here you go.
Interesting friend you have, Tony.
Who says I have any? I don't know you.
My name's Mike Hammer. I'm real close to your man, Claxton.
Never heard of him.
He iced a kid named Veronica Burnett in your place. Question is, would you let him play like that without permission?
Like I said.
I know what you said. Kenny boy there, I guess you don't know him either. You know, it must be worth a lot to you to risk your entire operation because that's what it's going to cost you.
Kid, I give you some advice, but you probably wouldn't take it.
You're right. But I would take some information. Like who had Veronica Burnett killed?
See what I mean? When you get in trouble, I'm gonna feel regret. That kind of anguish gives me heartburn.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Some people give me an upset stomach.
Then save yourself grief. Life's too short if your nose is too long. Think about it.
Didn't I see you boys on Bowling for Dollars? No, I guess not. In the early morning, the city traffic finally thins out, and there's nothing much left to dodge beside the potholes. Of course, there can be far more dangerous things in the street. Claxton had gotten away, but not before he poured some lead into my arm. At least I wasn't the only one looking for rats.
Right here. Not very long at all.
Baby Mike and I had more in common than just a name. We were both in the hospital because Claxton had tried to kill us. Someone had put him up to it, and it was just a matter of time before I put him down.
Good morning, Mr. Prosecutor. You want to see Mike's baby?
Poor child.
Barely drew blood. You know, you ought to take a rest. Stay off your feet for a while. You'll feel better.
Is that a prescription or a proposition?
Dr. Cody, Dr. Morris Cody, please report to radiology.
Hammer, what happened? Don't tell me. You were out of bullets, so you tried to run him down with your car?
Larry, I wasn't even at the wheel. Look, it's all in Pat's report.
Why did you leave the scene?
Well, I just happened to look down, and I noticed that I was bleeding. Dr. Vosnowski, my secretary Velda, Special Prosecutor Barrington.
How do you do?
Oh, I recognize you from the television, but your pictures don't do you justice.
Thank you very much. I know what you mean. The makeup has to be just right, and often there's not enough time.
Excuse me, Mike. Here's your suit. Although, I kind of like you in that.
Oh, thanks.
Hammer, I'd like another report, please. I'm particularly interested in why these two gunsels were after you.
There were three, including Claxton. Look, you had them all behind bars. You should have asked them.
Dr. Julian, to 4th floor nurses station, please. Dr. Julian, 4th floor nurses station. Dr.
Mike, I'm glad we ran into you.
Don't tell me the old man changed his mind.
Well, Lisa and I both decided that we want to do everything we can to help Veronica's baby.
That's nice, but it's already taken care of.
Oh, but it can always be improved upon. I'm Dr. Vosnowski. You're the family?
Joseph Atami, yes, we'd like to help.
Good. I'd like you to talk to the administrator.
I'll be right back.
He's so tiny, so ugly. He's beautiful.
first again. Even in death, she was first. Veronica was younger than me, but she was always first. Daddy was just a little bit easier with her. She got the first bicycle. She got the first pony. She'd been dated before me.
What about your fiancé, Lisa? Was she first with him, too?
You knew?
Just figured.
God, I hate her for this. I can't help it. I hate her for this.
Is Miss Kenny at the house? I need to speak.
Yeah.
Lisa was right. The baby was an ugly little package for somebody. Somebody who was sweating because the kid hadn't stayed in his trash can. Excuse me, is Kenny around?
Over there.
Thanks.
All right, Kenny, it's time to talk.
What are you doing here?
Let's start with Tony Cardell and work our way up from drugs and shooting galleries to murder.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah? I saw you at the bowling alley with Cardell. Now, I suggest you start talking.
I got money invested with her, but it's a mess.
Yeah.
I want out.
It's a mess, all right, like a murdered girl and her baby, maybe yours.
I just got it wrong. I invest in a lot of businesses. I didn't know what Tony Cardell was into.
Now tell me you never slept with Veronica.
That was over a year ago. Besides, I couldn't give her a baby.
You don't kiss on the first date?
It's the truth. When I was a kid, I had mumps. Left me sterile. It's not an easy thing to admit, you know?
Well, we all have our problems. Mine is figuring how you're connected with Cardell.
Talk to Mr. Burnett. I thought since he was invested with Tony, it must be a pretty good thing.
Better than mumps.
Veronica had left a baby, bad memories, and people who had trouble with the truth. Considering the way George Burnett felt about his daughter when she was alive, I was surprised to find him where I did.
This is private business, Mr. Hammer.
Like Tony Cardell?
Now look.
I hear you've invested with her. No wonder you wear white gloves.
Hammer, you're not quite so large an impediment in my life as you think.
Is that how you drove Veronica away? With threats? Or did she threaten you?
I loved her. She's soiled herself.
Veronica left 5 months ago. There's a baby in a glass cage at the hospital. The doctor tells me it's 6 months' term. Was that your going away gift to her? Bastard! At least your grandson and I have something in common. Careful, you might get your hands dirty.
Mr. Burnett? Yes, Mr. Hammer is quite finished.
So are you, pal. It was amazing how somebody so compulsively clean could make you feel so dirty. I took a long, scalding shower with no idea I was about to have an open house. But then George Burnett's wife could probably buy her way into anywhere. Well, hello. If I knew you were coming, I'd have dressed for the occasion.
Looks like you did. What happened?
Cut myself shaving.
I won't waste your time. What is it you really want?
I'm not sure. I'm still looking.
Satisfaction? Money? I told you my life has compensations. I'm willing to share them.
Would you be willing to share them with 5 pounds of life that nobody else seems to care about?
That's very expensive. You want it all. Nobody ever gets it all.
What do you want?
Only to protect my interests. I'll share, but I won't be put at risk because of you. Unless you can offer me some worthwhile compensations.
Sorry. I'm not interested.
Oh, excuse me.
It's all right. Come on in. The lady was just leaving.
Ever notice how often I catch you with your pants down?
For a doctor, that's an occupational hazard.
Oh. Well, let's see. I took a chance, and how do you feel about Chinese?
I prefer Polish.
Food's getting cold.
Hello?
Oh. Hello,
Yeah, this is Pat Chambers. Who's this?
Dr. Vosnowski.
Oh, maybe I have the wrong number.
No, sorry, you have the right number.
Give me Mike.
Oh, hold on. That's Pat Chambers.
Yeah.
Mike's been a shooting down the bowling alley. Get down here right away.
Give me 10 minutes. The last thing I wanted to do was climb out of a warm bed into a cold bowling alley. When it came to homicide, Pat Chambers didn't play favorites.
Somebody shut off these machines.
It's the same caliber that plugged your windshield.
I'm not surprised.
Amazing how a murder will clear a place of witnesses. Isn't it funny? Makes you wonder where all her friends are.
She never had any friends, just victims.
Let's clear it up.
Somebody had bowled a perfect strike in lane 12 on Tony Caudell. For her, it was the final frame of a very imperfect game. It had been a long night. The lady slumlord, Tony Caudell, was history. She ran a bowling alley and owned the drug den where baby Mike's mother was poisoned by an overdose. Now, I knew the killer wouldn't feel satisfied until his hitman Claxton got to me. On the brighter side, at least it didn't look like rain.
Put it away, pal. And, close the door. Do it! Or I put her away.
You put away Tony Caudell?
So you figured it out, huh? I'm sorry you had company. I wanted it just you and me.
So Tony didn't order the hit on Veronica Burnett, did she?
Well, like you, I'm an independent. Only I charge more. Now put it down.
Don't get excited. I just want to know who ordered the hit on Veronica Burnett.
Well, it's between me and my client.
Damn you! I thought you would never fire!
Where you going?
I've got to call an ambulance. I doubt that it's gonna do any good. You could make me some coffee. I'm really not very good in the morning without my coffee.
Claxton wouldn't be needing the ambulance, but at least Ellen managed to catch a ride back to work. If Claxton had stayed behind bars, he would have still been alive. So much for justice. I caught a few hours of much-needed shut-eye and stopped back at the hospital to check on the kid. I was pleased to find he had some visitors.
Pediatric, Dr. Ritzman, Dr.
Look, Hammer, about yesterday. Maybe I had that coming, but for Lisa's sake, I want...
What about Lisa?
She's decided to adopt her sister's kid. I mean, we have.
Did she ask her old man about that?
She doesn't give a damn what he thinks. Besides, I have money. Whatever you think of me, I can take care of that child. And Lisa.
All right, then, so
And I do love her. We'll make it work.
Well, be sure to invite me to the christening, okay?
Dr. White, Dr. Thomas White, 102.
See that?
Yeah.
It's got muscles. Just like you.
Must be blood type O.
Oh, no, that's your blood. You can donate to anybody. But he's B. B negative like his mother.
What's that make the father?
Oh, about 90% chance it's the same.
What kind of a man would have a woman killed because she was giving birth to his child, and then try to kill the child? If my hunch was right, I was about to find out.
We're not welcome here, Mr. Hammer.
Just like your daughter, eh?
The Hammer, this won't help.
Well, it helps me. Take your gloves off, George, since your hands are dirty already. Claxton put the needle in your girl's arm. Tony Caudell provided the poison which he got hooked on, but you financed your daughter's murder just as surely as if you planned it yourself.
Now you listen here.
Was that investment solely yours, or did you have some help?
It's time, Mr. Hammer.
What's your blood type, Peters?
What?
Your blood type.
A positive. Why?
Because somebody's gonna need a transfusion if I'm right. What about you, Joe?
What?
Your blood type. I'd say it was B negative. Since you're the father of the baby.
What's he talking about, Joe?
I don't know.
He handled your deal with Caudell, didn't he? He also handled your daughter and he gave her a baby.
You and Veronica, I'll kill you!
Stop it!
All I want is a little blood, Joe. Just a little. Just a test. Yours this time. Just to see if it matches. Veronica was going to tell her father, wasn't she? That's when you went to Caudell and hired her boy Claxton. Eliminate the mother, eliminate the problem. But the one thing you didn't count on was that your son would fight for his life.
You don't know what he's like. Oh, I was good enough to handle his money. But his daughter?
No. But you did anyway.
She asked too much. Veronica was going to cost me everything. He would have crucified me. You don't know what it's like. I worked my way up from the gutter.
You just worked your way back down. You give me that gun.
Gladly.
As I lay on the floor, I thought to myself, what an idiot. Why didn't I just let Betsy finish him off? My head was killing me, and the last thing in the world I wanted to do was chase this bozo. But what the hell? It's what I do.
You better clean your pool.
Gee, you. I thought you'd be better at this. For someone who's so good with his hands.
Dr. Vosnovsky, please report to emergency. Dr. Vosnovsky.
I'm sorry, I gotta run.
So am I.
I'm off at 9.
See you then. Michael Hammer Sanderson. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think? I guess you don't. Baby Mike would live his life on different streets than mine. But there'd always be a little bit of him with me. And who knows? Maybe there might just be a drop of me with him. Anyway, I was feeling pretty good, and I was looking forward to the evening. After all, I had a 9 o'clock doctor's appointment.